Hello, Bruce. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Danny. How are you? Yeah,
Good, thank you. So
good.
let's
Cheers.
start with a little bit about you, who you are, and where you're from.
Well, first of all, I hail from a tiny little country in southern Africa called Swaziland. Been in New Zealand for the last 30 years about. And yeah, just got three children. I'm a dad, granddad, husband, been married for 36 years, an employee, all those things, trader.
And what do you do? What's your background in terms of your career?
Right, I'm an engineer and I have a PhD in engineering. So I like to be I like to know how things work, let's put it that way.
Mhm. So that's very
And
different
why?
to and why? Yeah, I love that.
Mm.
And that's very different to trading. So what got you interested in day trading and futures?
I think it was a friend of mine came to me and said, I've got this investment opportunity that I think is a really good one. And I was at the time had a little bit of spare money. So I thought, oh, what a good idea. And learning a new skill was always appealing to me. So she introduced me to IDTA and I joined up. And I think the whole notion of trading and the analytics that goes with it is very consistent with my my education and background as an engineer, but there are a whole bunch of other nuances that have emerged over time that have been a little bit more challenging. But yeah, that's the main reason.
Awesome. So what was it about IDTA in particular that you were attracted to, that you thought was pretty awesome?
I think in the beginning it was, I didn't know much better. I'd never come across trading in any way, shape, or form. Um, but the person that introduced me was quite knowledgeable. And she introduced me to a couple of other people, and I just checked out the reputation. And in fact, one of the people that I met was working with and for IDTA, and and that person also helped me with some other investments. So I had a high degree of trust there, and didn't believe that they would be leading me into a bad investment space. So then I joined, and then I studied the education, which was very comprehensive. And I really enjoyed the comprehensive approach to the education. That for me gives quite a lot of credibility. And so once I was in, I was hooked.
Awesome. So, did anything surprise you about the education, about the community, about coaching, about anything at all?
Well, I think in the early days there was, you were, in many ways thrown in the deep end. Although the education was good and the LTRs were available, there wasn't any other real coaching and education that came with it. So, School of Hard Knocks is pretty much how I learned my trading. A lot of mistakes, a lot of pain and anguish, and then in recent years, that all changed with IDTA with the much more proactive education, the coaching, the style of moderating, and the general support for the community has increased dramatically. And so I've really enjoyed that and have been very keen to offer my own sort of knowledge and expertise and experience based on that School of Hard Knocks to to help our new members. And so I've become a coach and a moderator, and that's really been a fantastic journey, thanks to you, Danny. So
You're
yeah,
doing the work, mate. You're doing the work. But your
well, you've
journey
given
has
the
been
opportunities.
it's been pretty awesome observing your journey from a trading business school graduate to becoming a coach, and now you're one of the moderators in the live trading rooms. And so it's been so amazing and inspiring to watch your growth and evolution over time. So, congratulations on that. Seriously. What was
Thanks,
there
Danny.
was there a specific aha moment where everything just kind of clicked for you?
I don't think there's ever only one. I think there are a series of them, and they come when you are mentally ready. I think the first one for me was when Cam ran the high performance um, a course maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly. And one of the things that came out of that course for me was a very logical deduction, which was, you've got control over your decisions. You don't have to just emotionally respond or impulsively respond. And that's what I was doing quite a lot. And that process then triggered me to think a little bit more deeply about my own mindset and a mental approach to not just trading, but everything. And that led to a few sessions actually with a clinical psychologist, which led me to understand a number of things that are a big tension in my head. So vulnerability on one hand is something I want to avoid at all costs, and in order to live to my values and do the things I really would like to do, I have to be quite vulnerable. So that tension just needed to be released, and then the victim that sits inside became very transparent to me. So the process of learning to take full responsibility for every decision I make has been the really transformative thing, but that hasn't been something that has come easily or quickly. And the coaching that you've done, Danny, I think there was one aha moment which actually shifted so much that from that moment onwards, I thought, well, things are just going to be fine. We'll get there. Before that, I didn't, but I had done a lot of work to that point, so that when we went through that process, for me, it was just like, well, okay, let's just commit to this and go. That doesn't mean to say that it's all hunky dory now, but at least I'm aware of it, and I'm working actively to resist the victim and change my internal language and dialogue, not being a critic, being more of a coach to myself, rather than beating myself up over everything, and generally being just a bit more kinder on the inside, and just accepting that things are not perfect, with as me as a practitioner, or dealing with the probabilities of trading, and accepting that if you've got an edge, you just got to trade your edge, trust it, have the patience and discipline around that, and 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 let the probabilities play out, because I've done the back testing, the stats, and all those things. So there's no reason for it not to work. So the only thing that really does matter is how you approach it from a psychological, emotional, mental point of view. So yeah, plenty of aha moments.
Lots of
And I'm
aha
sure there'll
moments.
be
Love
lots
that.
more.
Yeah, there's always more to learn in trading. That's what I believe as well. So
And the
safe
and
to
the
say
personal
that,
development, yeah, the
oh,
personal
amazing.
development's been amazing.
Mm. Traders don't necessarily realize that when they first come to trading. They think it's all about charts, and then they realize fairly quickly that there is a mindset aspect to trading, and you've obviously deeply understood that, and you've been working through a lot of things. And so I can imagine that there has been a knock-on effect in your life as well. So
Yeah,
as you work
very
on
much
yourself
so.
and you're trading, like the knock-on effect to everything else, right? So life in general is different. So
Yeah,
it's
all my
wonderful.
relationships, my state of mind at work, all of those things, better grandfather, better parent, better husband, better friend, better employee. It's all had amazing knock-on effects. Yeah.
Beautiful. Just got goosebumps. So are you calmer as a trader these days?
I'm calmer as a person,
Yes,
Danny.
you are.
And
I
I
know.
think I think that's the key. Trying to be calm as a trader doesn't come unless you've actually figured out how to be much calmer as a person. I think for me that's been the key. And yeah, I'm a lot calmer when I'm trading. I still get a bit frustrated, and sometimes the fear creeps in. So, I'm a perfectly normal human being, and we all have an A game, a B game, and a C game, and they all come to play. So
Mhm.
trying to make that C game good enough not to for it to sink you is the big challenge.
Mhm. So when traders watch you, they're very inspired by you've got a Zen-like state, a very calm voice. And I've heard some coaching clients say to me, I'm working towards Bruce level patience. So you've got a coined phrase in the community, which is
Well,
awesome.
that's quite nice. It
Yeah.
doesn't, sometimes it gets a better of me, but we're
Hey,
all
we're
human.
human, right? We're human. We're not trading bots, we're human. So that
Yeah,
factor does come into trading, but overall it's really inspiring to watch you trade and hear your thought processes. You're very methodical. You've got a very clear defined edge. Traders can really they can really understand what you're looking for in the market. And so your level of comprehension is really quite amazing. So well done to you. And I know the work
thanks,
you put
Danny.
in, mate. So you've done awesome. So would you recommend IDTA to others?
Well, you know what? I have committed to IDTA myself, and it's not just because trading's got a little bit easier for me. It's because of the values I think that IDTA brings, the genuineness about their desire to help their members to become good traders, and not to pretend that you're going to make millions of dollars overnight, but that it's going to take hard work, dedication, and that there's support and people behind you that understand. So it's a no-nonsense, very honest place to be. And frankly, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here, because that's really important to me. And that's very different to a lot of the other places that I've encountered in my journey, because although I'm with IDTA now, there was a big gap between when I started and when I reconnected, where I did a whole bunch of exploration, and I did not find a lot of good stuff out there. So coming back to IDTA in its current form has been like coming home. And yeah, I would recommend it to anyone. And for me, it's good education, good coaching, good support, and a really good system. Yeah, that really values people and their outcomes. So, for me, if it wasn't that, then I wouldn't be here.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining me today, Bruce, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Danny, and you too.
Thank you.
Okay.